What is theatre? Why, how, and where, and what? Where am I? Terschelling. Terschelling in Holland. Terschelling, an old Dutch word meaning theatre laboratory. Yes, indeed. When one thinks of theatre, one thinks of New York, one thinks of London, Paris, Rome. But alas, no. You see, theatre really began here in Holland, in Terschelling. And the whole island is basically an essence of communication theatrically. A remarkable, remarkable series of conclusions and connections with the public itself, with the people who live here. Every aspect of a Terschelling person has these theatrical elements. Elements of Meyerhold, elements of Goldoni, elements of, well, one could say theatre. One could, but one wouldn't, not at the moment anyway. Now here we have the old Terschelling gate. Now this, of course, is one of the old gates, traditional uses in the theatrical world. And as you can see, doorgaanwerk tijdelijk bestraft. Don't be late for the performance, it means. And it is open because the performance actually has begun further down the street. This is, of course, Midlands Broadway, one of the most famous streets in theatrical tradition. Hello, hello, nice to meet you all.
Hi.
And you're all probably going to a show, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what show are you going to see today?
We don't know, festival.
Ah, you don't know? The Oerol Festival?
Yes.
Ah, now you see, there is a festival here called the Oerol Festival because it's very important to hear what's going on. Oh, he speaks Dutch. Let's just hone in on this because Dutch is a local language. It's a very sweet little thing. Nobody speaks it normally, of course. You speak some Dutch?
Yes.
Yes. Now, there are many aspects of theatre, of course. The theatre of cruelty is one aspect. For example, the theatre of cruelty is something which creeps in every now and then into this petty pace from day to day. Time like an illuminated candle, struggling forth. Clutch, clutch, clutch. I see thee not, but I have thee still. That is, of course, Shakespearean. But here, in Terschelling, it doesn't really matter what sort of theatre is relevant, because there are all kinds of theatre. There are theatre of tragedy, the theatre of comedy, the theatre of stand-up comedy, the theatre of fall-down comedy, and, of course, the theatre of all kinds of things which could never above the inspection itself. What we are based with the actual point of view is what is theatre. Theatre could be all kinds of things, and of course the point is, now this is, for example, is one of the interesting parts of theatre today, which is the modern techniques.
Modern techniques.
As we can see, and here is a modern technician.
This is a modern technician.
He usually backs the performer,
yeah.
And he's switching with the knobs and dials, making sure that it functions jolly well.
Let's try to move it together.
Now he's probably moved into his little box, because they usually have a little box underneath, and they work the things so the performer can't be seen. I mean, the performer
this one got through.
So, oh, there we are. There's now. Look, you probably noticed it's his brother who's performing here. Hello.
Hello. How are you? You're doing an interview with me. Cool.
Of course.
Yeah,
we're from BBC Two.
Okay.
Fayneway Jenkell. You probably recognise me. What's your name?
Mr. Looney Rooney.
Mr. Looney Rooney. Isn't that sweet? Looney. It's got a rhythmic sense to it. Obviously, you're historical tragedian.
I'm a tragedian. Yes.
You're British too.
I'm British.
He's British. Now, isn't that good? It's nice to know that some talent is over here as well. So, are these people your friends?
These are all my friends. In fact, these are all my children.
Well, there's an interesting aspect to theatre nowadays. You see, not only does the actor travel, he travels with his family, which is an old tradition in the theatrical style. Of course, one prefers to have one's wife, one's children, and why not? Traveling can be... Now, there's some sort of applause going on. I don't know what it is. Well, anyway, let's carry on now to the Anton Artaud exhibition. I do believe it. I've just noticed Leonardo DiCaprio. Let's go over now and talk to him. Excuse me. Of course, I don't want to upset you or interrupt you. Of course, you're Leonardo DiCaprio. We all recognize you. And it's very nice that not many people here in Terschelling are running up to him and asking for autographs. But I think it's very important. Tell me, how did you find about making the Titanic? Was it fun?
Well, it was okay. Yeah, I made a lot of money.
We said we wouldn't discuss the Titanic.
My goodness, I didn't even recognize herself. It's Michelle Pfeiffer. Incredible.
And it's why we are here and not, you know...
So actually, we seem to manage to make a scoop on this little affair that you're having in Terschelling.
I would not really mention an affair.
Well, no, I mean, of course, you can trust the BBC. We're not going to edit this in. You know, we'll keep this a little bit out. Moving on to a different kind of theatre. This is the musical knees up. Now, the musical knees up is often played by various musicians, actors, or people who are out of work just to make a few bucks on the side. As you can see, it's been received very well indeed. And we're moving now through the crowd to try and find out exactly what the performance might be. As you can see, this is obviously an electrical. We're using techniques which was never used in the old days. In the old days, there were, of course, all kinds of theatrical entertainments. This particular entertainment is using the modern techniques of... Oh! I didn't know you were here.
I'm here, the one and only.
Absolutely. Is this the prompter's box? The souffleuse?
Yeah. Hi.
Well, anyway, as I was saying, in theatre there's always a little box where the prompter lies, hidden, waiting with the words, so if the actor or the actors forget, pardon? Sulfurprompt. Yes, indeed, it's a follow-prompt in Dutch. And the sulfurprompter is sitting probably in this little box. I always sat on him, I'm awfully sorry. So, what's the name of your company? What kind of theatre do you do?
With the one and only Yes.
And you trained, of course, in Stanislavski techniques and Brechtian and...
Aqua joking out, course.
Very good. Now, obviously, this is a very specific kind of theatre which you're performing.
Yes.
Of course, biker movies and biker theatre has always been a tradition in Holland, and here we see the original Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper production blanks for when they made demo. They made a demo before they made Easy Rider, and this was called Simple Cycle. Simple Cycle was the demo which they made later as Easy Rider, and these are some of the simple cycles which they used. Actors should be hungry. Before we go in, let's just look. These are obviously not actors because they are eating. Usually actors don't have the money to eat. Are you an actor, sir? Ah, now there you are. This must be a well-fed actor. Are you an actor, madam?
No.
Are you with this gentleman?
Yes.
Is he a good actor?
Yes.
Is this because he eats heartily?
No.
Ah, but why?
Without eating, he's also a good actor.
Without eating. Has he been without food at some point in his life?
Yes.
Because, you know, they do say a good actor has to starve for his profession.
He died last Saturday.
He died last Saturday. This is extraordinary. This reminds me of Banquo, Macbeth, the witches. He died last Saturday, but he's still with us today. Isn't it remarkable? I mean, he looks so well. Obviously, he's here in spirit in some strange theatrical, metaphysical way. Now, the Barnbacher, of course, helps actors, like this dead actor here, to feed themselves while they're dead or perhaps alive. Good evening. How are you? From the BBC. We're just interviewing everybody in Terschelling, this famous Broadway part of the island, because of this great... here we have the slicing of the bread. Now, this is an old theatrical tradition which the Barnbacher company have been doing for centuries. In the old days, of course, there was only the bread. There was nothing else. And now actors are always looking for bread, and sometimes they get this sort of bread, if they're lucky, in a production. Here we have all kinds of different kinds of bread. We see this is a normal everyday Barnbacher fresh piece of bread, which one can take and feed the ducks, or whatever. Now I hear the telephone. Somebody is getting a call from his agent. Is it you, sir? Do you have? He's just talking. Here we are. It must be for. I don't know which. Excuse me a moment. I'll just.
But this phone is run off. It was the start to do a film. I can't do it now, so never mind. Thank you very much. So, as you can see, all these actors here are great fans of this particular Barnbacher shop, because an actor has to eat and drink, and that's why they're all here. If they didn't drink, they'd be dead like the other actor outside.
And that's all from me, Fayneway Jenkell, for tonight. BBC Two. We hope you're going to remember what theatre is, and I hope I do too, because at the moment, I don't know what's going on. Good night. And I hope I